Go Spurs, go! Viva los Spurs! How about them Spurs, baby? 199. It's going down in Mexico City. Viva los Spurs! The Juan Blair going off like Pancho Villa down in Mexico. You heard it, Spurs fans. This is Tom the Spurs Dude doing a little Spurs Clippers recap for you guys. Obviously, a tremendous, great, intense game that we had down in Mexico City tonight. For those that watched on NBA TV, y'all saw a terrific basketball game go down. Obviously, at the end of the game, you saw Monty Ginobili step up and take over Greg Popovich's spot, and he just coached the Spurs to the end. I thought Manu drew up one of the best, if not the last second play ever in a Spurs game, preseason or playoff situation. You got to give it to Manu Ginobili. First, you got to give it to Coach Greg Popovich for allowing Manu Ginobili to have the opportunity to come in, to draw up a play that would not only put the Spurs in a game-winning position, but you also allow Manu to fill in as a coach. You know, this obviously helps the San Antonio Spurs in more ways than you can think of, because now it's not just Greg Popovich coaching. Now it's Manu coaching. You know, it's Manu Ginobili taking over the ball game. It's situations like this, guys, that as a Spurs fan you like to see. Going up against the Los Angeles Clippers tonight, at the beginning of the game, I thought the Spurs just played god-awful, sloppy basketball. We committed way too many turnovers in the first half of the game, and it pretty much continued on through the third quarter. We saw the same mistakes being made over and over again, and as a Spurs fan, you were pretty much disgusted tonight. But that's not the way the game ended up being at the end of the quarter. At the end of the game, when you had the Spurs step up, making plays in the fourth quarter, a la Curtis Gerald's big time play, taking big time shots at the end of the game. And once again, Manu Ginobili, the swerving dervish out of Argentina, just creating, if not the best Spurs play I have seen ever. You know, despite the fact that it was a preseason game, you got to give it off to Manu. You got to hand it off to Manu Ginobili for just stepping up and not only, you know, just creating the best play of the game, but that was the game-winning play to top it off. So who better other than Manu Ginobili from the San Antonio Spurs to say, you know what, I'm going to take over this game without playing the actual ball game. This is what you call coaching. This is what you call Spurs basketball. And gosh darn it, this is what you call clutch playoff plays right here. Even though it was a preseason game, you saw Manu step up to the plate, and a big, gigantic, and since we're in Mexico, guys, muy grande, a big shout out to my man, DeJuan Big Daddy Blair. DeJuan Blair did his thing tonight, getting rebounds after rebounds, second chance points, scoring for the Spurs. DeJuan Blair did his work tonight in the paint, going up against a guy by the name of Blake Griffin for the Los Angeles Clippers. DeJuan Blair was the bear tonight, and like I said, since we're in Mexico, normally we'd call DeJuan Blair the bear, the beast. Tonight, I call him Pancho Villa, because that's exactly who DeJuan Blair was tonight. He was the second coming of Pancho Villa. And by gosh darn it, DeJuan Blair stepped his game up tonight, taking rebound after rebound. It didn't matter if it was against Blake Griffin. It didn't matter who it was against Chris Kaman. It really didn't matter, guys. DeJuan Blair stepped up tonight, and he's the reason why the Spurs won this game. He's the reason why the Spurs were able to stay in this ball game. But like I said, the turnovers killed the Spurs in this game. You saw so many turnovers in the beginning of the half. Let me see, how many turnovers did we have total? I mean, if I can get the total, it was 15 turnovers. 15 turnovers in a ball game. You just cannot have that. And to think that we won this game. If you had just looked at the stats from the first half alone, all the turnovers that the Spurs accumulated over the course of the ball game, you would have given the Clippers the win. There's no way we would have won this ball game, but because of because of guys like Manu Ginobili, because of guys like DeJuan Blair, and guys like Curtis Jerrells stepping up at the end of the game, making big time plays. This is the reason why the San Antonio Spurs can be deadly at the end of ball games when the game is on the line. Now, a lot of people are over here already rooting for the Miami Heat like it's a freaking goddamn freaking picnic in Miami. Well, I got news for all you Miami Heat fans rooting your butts off for this team that has yet to prove anything to this league. But I tell you one thing, if anybody, and I mean anybody, should be afraid of any team, it should be the Spurs. I mean, this is the type of game that gets you starting to think. Now imagine if you subtracted all those 15 turnovers from this game and you added 15 second chance points. The Spurs win this game by double digits, no questions asked. But you saw guys like Richard Jefferson, 5 points. That was an alright game, I guess. 17 for Tim Duncan. DeJuan Blair, 21 points. Going off tonight, Manu Ginobili only scored 7. Tony Parker only scored 6. You saw Matt Bonner, he had 9. George Hill had 8. James Anderson with 4. Marcus Cousins, 4 points. Gary Neal, 3. And maybe, if not the best 3 points that Curtis Jerrells has ever scored in a Spurs jersey at the end of the game. Curtis Jerrells. Oh, actually, no, my bad. That was Gary Neal. Curtis Jerrells actually made the 3-point shot. Yeah. So, you know, guys, the way the Spurs played tonight was god awful. But, you know, a win is a win, and we're going to take it. And as you see behind me, Spurs banners, the San Antonio. You know what's going down, Spurs fans. Spurs winning tonight 199 over the Los Angeles Clippers. Go Spurs, go. Viva los Spurs. Vamos para San Antonio. Vamos, Los Spurs. Hit me up at TomTheSpursDude.com, TomTheSpursDude.weebly.com. Send your shout outs, your comments, leave them there in the box. Tell me what you guys think of my new website, guys. Follow me on Twitter at TomTheSpursDude and on Facebook under Thomas Vega. Shout outs to ProjectSpurs.com, ClubSpurs.com, and everybody in the Spurs family organization. So for the Spurs show, for the Spurs Clippers recap, this is Tom the Spurs Dude signing out. Peace. And remember, go Spurs, go. Viva los Spurs. Viva los Espuelas.